Welcome back, everybody. Here we are for another game against Nas or Nas. Don't know which way he wanted to have that said, but that's fine. Said the same thing last time too, and a little bit of a stally one this time. So let's get this underway and see how it goes. I've got my good old Nidoqueen here, and Agira comes in, so I'm kind of expecting taunt because that's all Nidoqueens want to do is set stuff up. So I switch immediately right out, just get my hail going. And he puts up a substitute instead. I'm thinking, crap. Well, if he's got bounce, I've got protect. I don't really care. He's sub DD, so I guess that means he doesn't have taunt, because otherwise he'd only have one attack, and that's not very reliable. So he's probably got two. Question is it Earthquake or Stone Edge for his coverage at this point? And we're just going to kind of go from there. So I wanted to use Woodhammer because it hits him a little bit harder, since he's going to have less defense. Talking about Gira, I mean. I probably should have switched to Blizzard on the second one once the sub was gone, but I just wanted to make sure I could break his subs. Maybe he's really, really bulky with sub DD instead. It's possible. So Sizer comes in, and pretty much the only thing I can really do is go to Skarm. He is going to hurt things really hard. Infernape comes in, and Infernape is a really good dude. Thankfully, I've got one of the few Infernape counters that are quality and still fit in with what I want to do on this team. I can stop both of his stabs. That's still really hurt, but it's whatever. So I know he's going to switch at this point. I'm going to recover straight up, I think. I think I recover. I do, because I figured even if he stays into attack, or even if he has T-Punch, I'll be at full life, because I'm faster. So there was no harm in recovering right there, and my Infernape counter is now back up to full, which is great. His Infernape is hopefully just going to recoil itself to death. This gives me my chance to get my Reptar in, and look, T-Spikes, and so far it only gets Infernape, essentially, so Stealth Rock, much more important. We're going to get my chance to get that up there first, and he brings in a Melodic, which, okay, so T-Spikes I probably never am going to want. Starmie might be able to kill it with T-Bolts, but it's going to take a little while, because it's, really strong, and I don't think my Starmie is that offensive. Woodhammers could potentially do it, but I don't really want to have this guy go in there for fear of Toxic. I don't think this one's going to have Toxic. I don't know what's going to... Ah, damn it, it had Toxic. I was kind of hoping it wouldn't. I probably should have went straight for a Woodhammer, but I also figured maybe he'll switch, and Leech Seed will be better as well. So it's just... Melodics will be really hard to kill if I put Poison or Toxic on it. So if I do decide to get status, I pretty much am committing that to be the last poke on his team alive. Is how that would play down. I wouldn't be able to kill it, and it would guarantee a stall war, so I don't really want to do that just yet. Switching out to Skarm at this point because it looks nice and safe. That'll give me a chance to get up a layer of spikes. Maybe I should just Whirlwind here, because what's he really going to do? I've got some hazards up there. Oh, he wants to spin. That's what he wants to do. Nope, he hasn't seen Dusknoir yet, so he has no idea that Dusknoir is going to say no to your rapid spin. It's exactly where I'm going to go. Unfortunately, I don't have Will-O-Wisp, because this is one time where I really would love to burn the spinner, and unfortunately I can't. So this one is a little bit novelty. This guy's got Gravity with Dynamic Punch to get some confusion, but also to bring things like Zapdos down into T-Spikes, so they can get some status on them. It also, I guess, guarantees that Blizzards will hit if there's no hail, if Abomasnow died and it's like a sand team. I guess it helps Leech Seed not miss, so that's something, I suppose. Otherwise, it's mostly just novelty. It never really makes a difference. But we're switching around a little bit because Abomasnow just dominates bulky waters. So I go for the Woodhammer. It does a lot of damage, but I also kicks my own ass, and because of that Toxic, I can't really afford to stay in and go for another. He's going to recover, and I'm going to kill myself, so I don't want to do that. I've got to switch out to Bliss just to waste some time. I can pass a Wish on over to Abomasnow, but what I'm more trying to do is bait one of his guys, either Donphan, Sizer, or Infernape, to come in, and I just want to S-Toss on their entry and all those hazards, and Hail, and then Protect, and just really, that's what's going to kill those guys. So I'm hoping I can get some of his offense in here. But unfortunately, it doesn't look like that's what he's going for. So I wish this turn, and Toxic's not racking up very much just yet, so I'm totally okay to sit in here for this one more turn, go for an S-Toss just in case. Just kidding, I switched. Well, I guess if he brought in offense that turn, then I still wanted Abomasnow up there, but I guess I have those backwards. I thought that turn I stayed in and S-Tossed again, but I suppose I did not, so I recover up all those hit points, and I think I get another Leech Seed. Yep, so that'll cancel out Toxic for a little bit now as well. And again, if he wanted to bring in one of his offensive guys, it's just a shit ton of hazards. Not a whole lot of offense on here. And I predicted him to switch, thinking that he wouldn't want to take damage or something. I don't really know, but he didn't switch. So I went for a second Leech Seed. Meh, no big deal. I'm going to get the hell out of there now, though. Blissy's going to come back in and try to do more of the same. His Melodic isn't really doing anything, and I guess at this point, if it is something that's going to be the last poke alive, I'm stalling it out of a lot of attacks, so I suppose that's a good thing too. But I'm just going to put another Wish up, and maybe here's where I stay in and go for S-Toss. No, this one's too obvious for that. There we go, yeah. So last time I switched and passed the Wish, this time I stayed in. Okay, so I had those turns backwards, but it worked out perfectly. Infernape comes in, all the hazards in the S-Toss get him down to 6%, and I've got Protect. So he's dead if he does, he's dead if he doesn't. It's just really unfortunate for him, but that's just my team doing what my team is designed to do. So kudos to me, and you know, it's a bummer. That's not an easy side to play on right now, that's for sure. So Gyarados comes back in. I'm going to have to switch because Toxic is starting to rack up a little bit. But I've got a couple of Pokemon to go to. Skarm is obviously going to be just fine. If he does have Taunt, I can't Whirlwind him away, which would be great. Hail isn't going to get anywhere due to lefties, but I know I'd be able to survive and do a couple of Brave Birds and break his sub and cause him to get too low to make more subs. So I wasn't too afraid, even if it did have Taunt at that point. But I figured it didn't after seeing it at the start not using it, so I'm just going to roost up here, waste some time, see what Sizer wants to do, and he went for Pursuit. Seems a little interesting. I don't know why my Skarm would have wanted to switch out. I probably should have Whirlwinded right there, but I opted for another layer of Spikes, which doesn't really make a difference whatsoever, but I guess it doesn't hurt either, so obvious Dusk Noir switch is super obvious right now, but at the same time, he kind of has to try to spin, doesn't he? Well, I guess not. He made a good play, putting up Stealth Rock instead. I guess he figured he's going to have one turn to mess around no matter what, unless I brought in Starmie that turn, but Earthquake is too risky. So I went for a D-Punch just in case. If I could hit it and confuse it, that'd be great. If I couldn't, then, you know, whatever. I planned to Pain Split on this turn after taking a second hit anyway. So that gives me a decent amount. In fact, I gained everything I just took that turn, and dealt a good chunk to Donphan as well. So I guess I'm just going to go for it again. I mean, well, it doesn't matter what I was thinking about doing with Dusknoir. He's dead. I can bring in Starmie now, threaten the Surf. Even if he brings in Melodic or Blissey, I can just Rapid Spin on those guys. I don't have to Rapid Spin that turn and thus risk having both of us spin on that same turn if he wanted to stay in. So that's all I do. Blissey comes in, no big deal, don't care. Even if you're Specs Shadow Ball, maybe Specs Shadow Ball, but you're not, so it doesn't matter. I spin away the rocks, Obama Snow now becomes much safer, and I guess we're back to square one at this point. So we've now been kind of bouncing around and stalling for a good 15 turns-ish, 20 turns perhaps, and the net result is a dead Infernape and a half-dead Rapid Spinner on his side. So I guess that works out. I did lose Dusknoir, so we've made a little bit of progress, but I think it's an advantage to me. Because if his Donphan is able to spin at this point, it's going to be at his expense. It's going to be dead at that point. And I'm pretty much just trying to bait it in. Hopefully I can get him to come in if I'm, you know, doing T-bolts and crap or just wasting time and recovering. It's not going to work. I'm hoping that maybe he thinks both of us are going to switch. Neither one of us is really getting anywhere. We're just kind of wasting moves, but that's fine. You know, Sand Dollar being a not really wall-type Pokemon is less likely to use all of its moves than something like Blissey. So if these two pokes are stalling against each other and it really does come down to PP at the end of the day, I think that's an advantage to me. I do get a little bit bored of it, though. I want to make some progress. I'm thinking maybe if I bring Blissey in, that'll increase the odds of him bringing in Donphan or Sizer. But if we're just going to have Bliss versus Bliss stall, then that's fine too. But he goes back to Melodic to continue the Melodic versus Bliss stall, and I'm not quite sure. I went for S-Toss there again, hoping to try and kill something. I know he's going to recover this turn. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can really do with that information because I don't have much offense. So I'm going to S-Toss, get more damage on there, force him to recover again. But again, there's nothing I can really do. At that point, I probably should have just Toxic'd him. He hasn't seen it, so he probably doesn't expect me to have it at this point. In my mind, I was still deciding, like, do I want to put status on this thing and then Woodhammer won't kill it because of Miracle Scale or Marvel Scale? But I just got to the point where I was like, you know what? I'm not killing this thing either way. If he wants to sit in here and stall all day, I'll at least get some sort of damage out there, speed things up a little bit. It's going to be tough to kill whether I have it on there or not, because my Abomasnow is toxic. I don't want to sacrifice him just for the sake of killing Melodic either. So it was overdue. It was overdue. I'm just kind of making up for lost ground at that point, and I'm still trying to bring these things in here. Unfortunately, that would have been a really good turn to S-Toss, and I didn't do it. But at least, I mean, it still was beneficial. If he wants to Rapid Spin, like I said, it's going to die if I don't outspeed, which I still may. Looks like I do, but even if it didn't at that point, that whole sequence of last, 15 moves, me trying to get his guy to bring it in so I can kill it, looks like it didn't matter, and that's just going to be all of them. He ends it a little quick. He's got 3 pokes left, but I think Gira was dead on entry, or at least dead. Yeah, Gira's at 26. So yeah, Gira was dead on entry anyway because of Hail, and his other 2 pokes have no chance to really kill me. I'm just going to put Toxic on him, make him switch back and forth, and just waste a whole bunch of time trying to get there. So it took a while, but my team did exactly what it was designed to do and did it very well. It was just a great matchup against him. He's obviously got a very defensive-oriented team as well, trying to force lots of switches, but he wasn't able to get his Stealth Rock up when he wanted, and by the time he did, I was able to get rid of it. Being able to take out that Infernape really limited his options to break some of my walls. The best way to beat a wall team is, well, it sounds stupid, but obviously break a couple of walls down. Once they start losing 1 or 2 guys, it makes it much more difficult for them to go between the rest of their team than a regular non-wall-oriented team would do so. He just wasn't able to get any breaks with it. He got rid of Dusknoir, but Dusknoir's probably the weakest link on this team. Maybe Nidoqueen. Once she sets something up, she never really comes back in. But no matter. That's GG, and hopefully you guys enjoyed this one as well. So take it easy, everybody. Thank you guys for watching. Catch you later. Peace.